They did the research for Pepperdine as we're ready to hop into the pick and bans. Again, game one of the finals here. Whoever wins this match takes the whole tournament. Peperdine on the blue side. They're banning out that Senna. Interesting to see there. I think that we saw this as a common ban against Kaga.
Yeah, it actually goes back and forth with the teams, whether or not you just play it or not. Of course, when you do see a ban like that, it means one of two things. Either you're just absolutely not willing to play it in any way, shape, or form, or that you just don't want to see on the enemy team, but you're like, you don't think it's that good. But at least not first pick priority.
But they clearly watched what happened last series. Taking away the Kled that was played in the mid lane to much success. Taking away the Elise that was, I mean, that combo was insane when San Francisco was able to pull it off. But San Francisco, slightly different targets. We've seen Nautilus first pick. That's been a very high priority. So I actually like this from San Fran, realizing, okay, they're blue side. Let's get them onto something else. And they're getting Scott on that Ornn right away.
Yeah, they had picked the Caitlyn. So their 3 picks that they had gone for in order for Peperdine, both of their games, because they were on blue side, where they picked Caitlyn first round, then they picked Ornn, and then it was Nautilus one time, and then when Nautilus was available, they went for Gragas, right? So I feel as though they're kind of just going down tier lists, and they want the Ornn or the Caitlyn first, and that makes a lot of sense that they just mix it up.
But they're answering with the Kai'Sa instead. They don't get that Nautilus, but the Leona's been proven to be a very strong pairing for that Kai'Sa as well. But San Francisco, they lock in the Lovers duo immediately.
Yeah.
There was no hesitation there. Clearly, this is planned.
No, I was actually wondering whether or not San Francisco was going to fight for bot lane priority. This tells me yes, but also realize that they picked it up, and it's the immediate response of Leona, who is seen as definitely the counter, especially into Rakan, the ability to lock him down, keep him from really getting that combination off. So it is going to be really rough for San Francisco. It depends on how they play, because Pepperdine, you just live bottom lane. Diamond's there all the time. If that's there, plus you have the counter of Leona, don't expect the Lovers duo to get that far ahead.
We'll see because if they push forward like Pepperdine baited Pacific into, you're right, Diamond loves to camp onto that bot side. And Zyrakan, a duo that can do that fairly easily. They got to be careful, though. They're locking in their jungler now. It's going to be that J4, another jungler that has very early ganks you can look for. If you want to get lanes ahead early on, you can look for those around level 2, level 3. I'd love to see Mahiro really go aggressive in this series, make a statement right off the bat, but interesting Yasuo lock in here for Pepperdine. That would be a mid lane Yasuo, and they got to pair something with a knockup. Right now it's just the Ornn.
Yeah, they're going to pair the buy.
All right.
Wow. So yeah, she has 2 knockups in her kit, so they were able to enable him in that way. But Yasuo was actually banned against Pepperdine. Pepperdine banned both in both their games. They banned Yasuo.
Yeah, they were against a player that played a lot of Yasuo.
Yeah.
So I think this is showing that when we're on blue side, we're confident in playing it too. They got the champion pool for it.
I was about to be like, Vladimir, Cassio are still up, and they went for the Vladimir here. Yeah, I think that's a smart choice. Make sure that you at least have multiple sources of magic damage, because you have a lot of AD currently. I think that's what the composition needs to round it out.
So then the question is, do you put the Vladimir into the Ornn or the Mordekaiser into the Ornn? Or more importantly, what do you put into the Yasuo, I guess, is the way that I should frame that question.
I would put the Mordekaiser into the Yasuo.
Okay.
Right. His Q can't be stopped by the wind wall. You're able to still 1v1 him pretty effectively. And then also the Vladimir, you want somebody who's not really going to try to super hard outtrade the Ornn. You can survive that lane, and you will just be one of the scariest top laners you could possibly be in the late game. So it is that good combination, but San Fran, I feel like they are going to be trying to focus a little bit more on the top matchup if they...
And they switched it around. They put the Vladimir in the mid lane.
That is
Mordekaiser
shocking.
top. So... disobeyed both of my analysts on the desk here. I think we'll have some words for San Francisco after here. But looking at those drafts, I love what San Francisco is actually able to put together here. Even though they don't have the lane assignment you two were talking about, they have Rakan for Engage, you have J4 for Engage, and then the Vladimir for these great team fight AoE abilities. I feel like if they can get into 5v5s, they have a very strong team fight for it. So I'm going to give it to San Francisco here.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to San Francisco as well after what I saw from them previously. I think Pepperdine actually has a scarier composition overall.
Yeah.
But I think that San Francisco, from what I saw, because you never know, it's always the eye test, I think that they are a little bit better in terms of mechanics. They just don't have to, overplay themselves, and then I think they'll win.
Right.
What do you think returned?
I think for game one, I'm going to go with Pepperdine. I think that San Francisco is definitely going to be liable to, overplay themselves at a lot of points. And the bottom lane, which has been basically one of the core carries for Pepperdine, I like the matchup they got. I like the fact that we're going to be seeing the Vi. And even the Vi plus Yasuo combo really tells me they're going to be abusing that duo repeatedly. And that's something I can see San Fran getting caught up by.
All right, we'll see if they're able to pull it off. Return again. I don't know what your success ratio is.
Well, so far it's 1-for-1 for today.
For today, there we go. We'll just go with that one. But we'll see who is able to take this game as we're ready to send it on over to the Rift for game one of the WCC Preseason Invitational Finals, brought to you by Grubhub. Pepperdine on the blue side. University of San Francisco on the red. Both teams fanning out across the Rift.
Oh, no, they swapped it back. It's the Mordekaiser mid.
Oh, they did. Look at that.
That makes sense.
They
Yeah.
debated us.
I was like, the top laner had played Mordekaiser previously. It seemed good for him. Totally fine, but I think that having this matchup in particular is probably just better.
No kleptomancy though on the Vladimir, so
Doesn't
taking
exist.
that
Exactly.
phase rush. The more aggressive combat summoner anyway, if you had to, or Rune.
It helps out in the laning phase when you're just able to speed in or away if you need to, and more so during fights where a lot of Mordekaiser's power, and a lot of the Vladimir's power rather, is being able to lay down that giant AoE while still being able to move around, being untargetable in the pool. So the ability just to get under everyone, pop that damage, and reposition is going to be really important.
So watching K-Pulsar, the Vladimir takes a while to come online, really, and actually start impacting these team fights in a crazy manner. You want to get a couple items on you, at least. Usually I'm still seeing the Proto Belt build. I'm not sure. Maybe you two have more insight onto the current Vladimir builds, but I'm expecting that to scale up a little more. When I'm thinking of the early game, I'm looking at this bot lane. I'm looking at two supports that have CC, that have the ability to lock people down, and two junglers that can impact early on.
Yeah, that was actually a really interesting timing with those wards. You probably would have seen Diamond come out of the red buff over to the Raptors earlier, but because the ward was actually placed while the enemy was coming to get a ward, they saw the fact that, oh, they're on red buff right now, they're throwing a ward over, they're probably right there. So,
and if you click the ward fast enough and then you mouse over the top left, you can actually see who placed it.
Really?
Yep.
It's the classic level 2 gank here.
little-
Yeah,
in,
there's like a, when you click on something in the top left corner, it'll show its HP and stuff, right?
Oh, look at Mahiro. The level 2 gank on to Santa Masi. They get the flash out early. That was beautifully played.
That's exactly what you want to look for with a level 2 gank like that. You're probably not going to pull the kill itself, but the fact that you get Yasuo with no flash makes it so inviting for Flo plus Miro to come back again. The flag and drag is that much easier to land, and then even if Kaga has an extra second, like, hey guys, where are we at? Mid lane fight? Hell yeah. Is able to go ahead and assist in that kill. Taking down the mid lane for Pepperdine, I think, is the main way that USF keep this game going long enough to the point where all of a sudden, Vladimir is super Vladimir time.
It's all about how do you get from the early game to the mid game to the late game. We're still in that early game, but it's been good for USF so far. We don't even see Mahiro too far behind in the jungle here, but if Diamond Kervaz can get something here, this would feel great. The pool from the knockup, but there's a second one coming. Flashes early. I think K-Pulsar might still get out. Oh, Scott could flash for it. He does with a final auto, and first blood already secured.
Yep, and went into the pool to avoid the initial knockup from the Ornn combo, and I think that was, it was a good choice, but I think the flash afterwards, he just held it way too long. There was no threat on him from the Ornn. There was no threat on him from anything else. He had to reactively flash.
Yeah, you got to wait for the buy to start dashing towards you and then go for it, but this could be a just repeat gank.
There's no reason not to. With TP down, if you lose here, you lose so much farm.
The big wave, though. You got to be careful. Pool is available. There's the knockup. Oh, Scott doesn't chain the CC, but they might still have enough. K-Pulsar is in trouble. Flash forward by Diamond Kervaz. Can't quite get him. Ooh, that was so close.
It is going to force the back, though, so it doesn't give you the kill goal, but it does effectively set Vladimir farther behind, though that will give now Miro time to go in, counter jungle, grab the CS, grab the XP, and at least punish Vi for all the time she spent topside.
Yeah, we see that coming in here, being about 2 camps up. Mahiro also a full level up, has that flash available, looking for something mid. They know that there's no flash on this Yasuo. I would love to see actually him stick around. If Flo had just walked forward, tried to claw Santomasi back, there was no minions for him to dash around, so.
I think it was also the fact that they didn't have vision on Vi. They knew she was topside, came back into the jungle. And what would be terrible is if Miro's going for a flash, flag, and drag, you better get something from there. And a Vi will definitely put a little bit of sad faces on the
little frowny
itself.
face.
Yeah.
A little emoji.
Yeah, also, to be completely honest here, like, ganking the Yasuo as a J4 always kind of sucks because you EQ in and then he'll walk up, even if he gets knocked up, and then he just E's through you, and it's really hard to catch him. Like, and if he's fast enough, he can dodge your flag and drags by just Eing to minions forward and then Eing back off of you. It's just, he's so slippery, and you only get kind of one shot. And I feel like the way the EQ works is it does take a bit for you to get there, and it's one of the more telegraphed, because it doesn't originate from you. It like originates from the point that you want, and then you pull yourself to it. So people kind of already know where you're going, right? Yeah. Before the ability like sends you.
Well, you drop a giant flag on top.
Yeah,
where you go. I think that's the first step.
It's a bit of a warning sign.
Yeah, I think usually
I'm going here.
It's a visual cue. We'll put it that way.
Exactly.
But regardless, didn't go for that gank. Just going to be up slightly in XP right now. But Diamond Crevasse hits that level 4, no problem. Also has a slightly better back, but here's a potential play on the bot side. I don't know if Dragon King actually wanted to take that. Has to flash away. Flag and drag forward by Mahiro. They don't actually lock down the Leona, but they get the summoner.
Yeah, not great map awareness, but good reaction once they realized they were caught out. The fact that they only have to blow the one flash away from Dragon, Wind Chill gets out pretty much unscathed, no summoner spells being blown, means that there's not all of a sudden this regank opportunity from J4. And that's what was game 2 for USF versus the University...
San Diego?
Thank you very much.
There we go. We got there.
Versus the other team, but it was just the constant reganks
Sands.
because everything was blown that just blew the game out of the water.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a dragon being started up here. They're going to go check this. Vi's in that bush.
I don't know if they can face check that. Oh, yep, they're in trouble. Flash available for Kaga, but can't even get it off. The kill goes through for Dragon King. Spirit Tracks probably going to have to flash this wall. Will Mahiro be able to keep him safe, keep him alive? Dragon Knight, doesn't have his flash, so can't actually follow up. Good dodge on the Zenith Blade, but still flash has to be used by Spirit Tracks.
Yeah, what's going on in mid lane, though? We saw Mord push Yasuo all the way in, and he's forced to back. He's very low HP.
Flo still has ult, too, so... the Dragon not being committed to by Peperdine. They stopped USF from actually going for it, but at the end of the day, they're just going to back off, maybe reset. Oh, maybe they're going to sneak it here.
Yep, Diamond's going to go for the sneak. Yeah, like we were saying in Champions Select, that there are good mechanics on Mihiro's side, but also Diamond has really good macro play. And you can tell he's in the right place at the right time, and that is not an accident.
And also, looking at the top lane, too, because of all that game topside, Scott still has his TP. K-Pulsar doesn't. Yeah. So if something goes wrong and alarm bells go off, you have the TP advantage to at least save the day. So really good play around here, and good
also,
knowledge to know that that's still down.
Also up 20 CS in that top lane. We haven't really come back to here ever since that early camp, but it really did put K-Pulsar behind, sitting on just barely any. That's not even items. I can't even call that items right now. Just a Ruby Crystal and the Doran's Ring. Meanwhile, Scott building towards that Abyssal Mask.
Just please, sir, may I have an Oblivion Orb?
Can I get some CDR, please?
Actually, no, not Oblivion Orb. Can I just have items?
Kindle Gem? Is that what you're...
Items? Items?
There's circles that do things.
Yeah. I mean, they look similar enough. But no, that early jungle pressure definitely put him behind, but is that really where their focus needs to be right now? The Vladimir seems to be controlled, so in that case, where does Diamond Crevasse want to put attention next?
Well,
Just hit level 6.
I think pretty soon he wants to start like a roaming band with Santomasi, especially because like
I think he wants to go mid. I think he wants to gank.
He has to go ahead and free up this mid lane because he's gonna be able to get the ultimate off. And the idea is that once the Mordekaiser can't ult while he's being knocked up, so you're gonna get the combo damage down anyway, and then hope that the damage is gonna be enough.
Or he buffers it real well.
Yeah.
That could...
What happens if Leona ults him, starts running towards him, but then he ults the Yasuo?
I believe it will...
Would it cancel?
I think it will expend the ultimate of Vi if she's already in transit.
Right.
And it will do nothing then.
All right, well, we'll see if
it's like if the person TPs away from you and makes it out.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That would be really funny, though, to see a Vi just...
Where would she go?
Follow
She like, puts a tether to the Shadow Realm and just, like, goes into a black hole. And
she follows it through.
no matter what.
Hey, she is a dedicated cop or vault breaker. What is she, a good guy or bad guy in the lore?
She's a good guy.
Good guy.
She's good? Yeah, okay, good.
Her and Kate are always chasing Jinx.
Right.
She's she's the bad cop.
She's the bad cop. Okay, there we go.
She's a
so
good,
somewhere in between. Shades of gray.
good-
Here's the
yeah.
Sporn ultimate going through. Good use of the ult from Flo, but there's enough knockups. Yasuo's got one in his own
He ain't
kit,
going anywhere.
and Flo is caught. Actually, flashes to safety. Wow. Only had to ult and then flash. Oh, the knockup's not going to cancel. That Rift Herald
Yeah,
doesn't
bad.
do that anymore. Yeah, it's an instant cast now.
It's a 1 second.
Or,
channel.
okay.
Right.
Very, 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 very.
It still takes the same amount of time for it to appear, but you can only cancel it within the 1 second channel now.
But I don't think anyone got those turret plays. I think they're too far away to cash in.
Maybe.
I didn't see the gold go over. I'm curious.
I think you're right. Everyone was turning tail once they saw Miro appear.
So that, if that is the case, that would be great for San Francisco. Yeah, they lose some of that damage, but at least the gold isn't going to be felt right away. So
I like the plan here from Peperdine where they took away pretty much the mechanical champions that Mahiro could play and got him off of things that he could really style on. Because J4, pretty straightforward. I mean, I play J4. Like that's how straightforward this champion is. It pretty much does 3 things. There's like one good mechanic, and that's the EQ flash.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's a repeat gank onto the mid lane. No flash on Flo. They get the knockup. Cataclysm comes down, though. Can Flo turn this around? He's got a huge shield, but Mahiro doesn't have any health left available. Santo Masi barely can't take him down. Tries to throw out that tornado and get him. He's dodging around these minions. Kaga doesn't have the grand entrance anymore, so Santa Masi gets out, but they still pick up the kill on Diamond.
If that play was like 5 seconds later, I think that Yasuo would have had his ultimate again and could have gotten the double knockup into the kills, but unfortunately, it was just a little bit too soon, and a great roam coming out of Kaga, who was also a great roamer in the last few games, but was able to cancel out that play, grab everything together, and yeah, just watching the Yasuo cooldowns here. They get the double knockup right here, and if that's an ultimate, that's a double kill.
It was like 4 or 5 seconds away, apparently. And then Kaga comes in, gets the kill here, and Mahiro,
he leveled up.
He leveled up from the kill, and that is what made it so he didn't die to the Yasuo Q, and then he got Triumph. So that's actually tragic. That is mega
insane.
tragic. He would have traded 1 for 1.
Yeah, that level 7 sneak from Mahiro. What a play. What a player. Santa Masi thinking, what are the odds that would happen right there? But regardless, that was also good from Mahiro, just being in that area. You saw him standing under the turret, prepared and ready for the counter gank. That's the kind of foresight that I like to see from junglers.
This game's going to be really interesting because you guys were completely right before. This isn't a mechanical jungler. This isn't I'm going to carry the game jungler. And it's more of Mahiro kind of forced into an almost defensive role. So now it's going to be on everyone else. This is the gut check for the rest of the team. Mahiro is playing the support position this time. Can you follow through on your own?
And when you're looking at how the rest of the team is doing, I think they're actually handling their own fairly well. Bot lane could be going better, but we saw Kaga spent that time going up. I'll give some of the CS discrepancy to that, but top lane, Cape Holsters come back. Yeah, you gave up that kill, but you're able to catch up in CS, actually taking over CS over Scott. So this Vladimir will be coming online within the next 5-10 minutes here.
Alrighty, Dragon is up and available. Both TPs on top lane are there.
Oh, Santo Masi might be a little too far forward. Actually, no, he gets a knockup. The team can follow up, and Mahiro just deleted. Scott might want more for this. Call the Forge Guide used right over the wall. They get the knockup. Has to use the ultimate, but Spirit Tracks can't quite get away. Flashes to safety. Can they turn it now onto Windshield? They do! Kaga, that was beautiful. Runs right past everyone. Keeps his 80 carry alive, and they get a kill.
That was actually so beautiful. The way the Spirit Tracks went across everything. Oh, okay. You know what?
But right after some beauty.
It was so beautiful before.
Beautiful disaster. We'll call it that. As
like a dance, a beautiful mess.
The bot lane get a little overeager and die, and also the Dragon still going over to Peperdine.
That's where you cut the clip. The montage ends.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the bell notification. But no,
subscribe, comment.
Yeah, with that too, you have to appreciate that this is still what seems to be the Achilles heel of San Francisco. dragons and positioning around neutral objectives, it always seems to be a back and forth of, okay, do we go in? Do we hang around? And during the time they're asking these questions, somebody dies. And this time as Mihiro, almost saved by some great plays out of Spirit Tracks. But once again, they were unsure. Do we come back and fight this? Do we go ahead and back off? And they're caught in the crossfires once more. And if that continues, we're going to see a lot more dragons in our future, and it's going to be real problematic for San Francisco.
Well, I think it's also going to be really problematic for San Francisco now because Santo Masi, he's 2-0-1 on this Yasuo. He's not feeding.
No,
this is
the enemy team Yasuo.
This is the Yasuo that's doing well, and he's at the point where he's got that first completed item. He also has a really basically 4 synergy jungler that he can just constantly roam with, constantly get ganks with, and here we go. It's probably going to just be just that. Watch.
4v2 under the turret. Spirit Tracks got nowhere to go. They even locked down Kaga, and that's 2 quick in succession for Peperdine. They might even take this turret. There's no more plates.
They absolutely will take this turret. Vladimir, he can't really shove or take turrets, so there's no threat on the opposite side of the map. And you see Orange just rotates down to the bot side. They give up top side jungle, but that's it. That's literally all they get done.
And now they have time to reset around the Herald again. They can look for these combinations time and time again. And if they just keep snowballing off this lead, Vladimir still a very long ways away from being the teamfight menace. Spirit Track only on 1 item isn't mid to late game carry Xayah. And the only person that they can realistically rely on for some sort of fight in this early stages is the Flow. But actually, is going for the Seeker's Arm Guard first, so that does actually delay his 2-item spike in the Leandries and the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. So USF,
the stacks.
They're really hoping to hit late game.
It's mostly because the entire enemy team is physical damage with magic damage splashed in from the Kai'Sa as well as the Ornn. So you're mostly dealing, if you're going to get ganked by a Yasuo with the Vi, then yeah, it's mostly going to be armed.
K-Pulsar in a 1v1 right now against Vi actually throws out the Hemo Plague very early. That might have been a mistake here as the rest of the team is coming to party. K-Pulsar has to pool, has flash available. No! The auto still came through. I don't think he heard your comms, Irene.
Didn't hear the plea.
That's a tough one to watch right there. You know, PSA for anyone at home, autos do track through flash. Can't dodge those. What is it? There's one way to dodge autos, right? It's walking into or flashing into a brush that's unwarded, or something like that.
No, that's only Callista.
Yeah,
that's only Callista.
That's Callista.
Okay, there
because Callista has unstoppable auto attacks when she starts it. That it actually needs vision, or else they get planted in the ground. It's really weird.
Interesting.
They actually fly. The animation
as
throws
if
the spear
Callista
into the
needed
ground.
any more nerfs, but back to the game at hand here. The K-Pulsar not having a great time in the top lane. He was coming back in the CS department, but now there's a whole enemy team that he's got to deal with. Flow, though, in the 1v1 might be able to take down Santo Masi. He has him trapped in that nether realm, walking right at him, and he gets the solo kill.
Wow, so he ulted him right before the Yasuo got his ulti off, so he kind of like buffered through it with an animation. That was actually really cool.
Oh, that's a pentakill skin, too. I haven't seen that backing animation. That was interesting. But second Rift Herald dropped on the top side. This one most likely gonna be more value than the last one. They're actually just going straight for the dive here. I don't know if I like this from Peperdine. That was a lot of damage from the turret that went onto Diamond, and K-Pulsar still alive. Here's my hero joining in as well. They take down 2 members, and they save the turret.
That was not a good play.
His ulti was back.
K-Pulsar? Hey, he's got 20% CDR already.
Yeah. That's one of those ones where I'm just like, bro, you said his ulti was down. Like, wait.
Wait, I thought the support was tracking the cooldowns. What's going on?
I'm like, damn, that's faster than I thought it was.
Yeah, but there were like, even if that ultimate's up, there are so many reasons why that game, that dive does not work out at the end of the day. First of all, Diamond actually was procced under tower, like autoed, tried to walk away, was still aggroed under tower, then ulted through, so probably took about half his HP bar there. There is no vision to prevent the movement coming out from Miro, and they just don't have the actual forces to go ahead and push that up. That is going to be feeding some gold back into some cash-starved members for University of San Francisco. And once again, their only objective in this entire game is make it to the late game.
Get this Vladimir online. Get this Xayah doing.
Don't give up too many dragons while you do that.
Yeah, those are called side quests, Irene. Yeah. Those are like the mini missions as well.
Vladimir almost has ult
for 100% completion. Vladimir does almost have ult and teleport available, but I don't know if USF is actually going to go for this. Yeah, they don't
All right, so 3 dragons now on the side of Peperdine.
Okay.
And fun fact, currently University of San Francisco have seen 18 dragons today over 3 games. So they are no stranger to letting the game go for quite a while. But we'll have to see whether or not they're going to be able to come back, because now one more dragon does gift the Ocean Drake Soul plus Elder Dragon spawning over to the side of Peperdine.
Oh, we have a QSS for Santomasi, making sure he doesn't get sent to the Shadow Realm anymore. So gonna have to find a different target there for Flo, and he's mostly going to be going into side lanes or pushing and shoving at this point in the game. So we'll see what he ends up doing and how he ends up affecting these fights.
Currently in the 1v1 against Scott, who also has a lot of magic resist and could be difficult to take down. So
right,
I'm not sure what exactly this Mordekaiser's job is going to be going into this late game.
His job is going to be to grab some items and eventually win the 1v1 on the sides. Thankfully, with Scott having the W, especially against the Grasp, it should be really hard for Flo to find himself in an optimal 1v1 situation. Throw into Leandries, and that equation does start to look a little bit better, but just try to get to the point where you can really affect these team fights through stealing somebody's stats and then wrecking the rest of the team.
You can't do it on Yasuo anymore, though, is the issue.
True.
So he's going to have to find a different target. The Vi, most likely.
Yeah, especially if Vi's ulting onto one of the backline members, like an ultless Zai or something, or Vladimir who doesn't have pool, you can take her away from the fight entirely.
And she's gonna be one of the easier people to kill too.
Yeah.
In terms of like her mobility, she would have to Q. You can still body block it. The Leona is really durable. She basically only gets HP.
Yeah.
You don't really buy anything else. She's just bruiser.
If your W or Aftershock is up, so hard to take him down. But I like what you said about the Vi. No magic resist, building towards that Black Cleaver, so more of a damaging build than a tanky build.
Right.
Would make a lot of sense to just say, all right, you're not going to get on my backline.
Yeah, I mean, the damage build's really just because Diamond and Santa want it to be that when you get Vi ulted, you do not hit the ground at that point because you are dead. just in case clarification was required.
Oh, that's the play? I like that play. Diamond Crevasse just jumps over the wall. Very bold move there without any mobility to get back over if the enemy team is nearby.
So San Francisco have to use this next 2 or 3 minutes to really solidify what they're doing in this game. They need to get their Zhonya's Hourglass on their Mordekaiser. They need to complete their next item for the Vladimir ASAP, because the Dragon, the next one that comes up, that would be the 4th one for Peperdine. They cannot let that one go over. It would give so much regen, and it wouldn't really matter if you siege, and it's going to affect a lot of the side lanes, so you can't really play that game anymore. So you have to, in the next few minutes, complete those items, farm it up. You can even see Vladimir's doing Krugs. He understands that he has to do this now.
But I like the fact that they're able to at least pick up some of the standing gold on the map. They get the top turret earlier from K-Pulsar, but then bot side, they also are able to get that turret for Flo. All that gold going into their pocket, they can now back reset by. Flo still doesn't have the Leandries yet, but you're getting there.
Yeah, the one thing that Peperdine is doing is that they are still kind of, not quite in the back foot, but especially with this mid tower still being up. If this mid tower is gone, all of a sudden you have pushing lanes, and you just try to play for the enemy's jungle camps, deny them there, and cut that flow of gold. But because that objective's still standing in the mid lane, there's at least some respite for USF to go ahead, farm up, and live to fight another day.
When will the action happen next for them, though? Zyrene, you were calling the Dragon not something that they can just give up, but Baron also on the table. So you need to keep vision there. So far, USF have strong vision along the river right now. They have pretty much everything warded up so they can see if Pepperdine's walking into their territory, but they don't feel like they're in a position where they really want to push forward yet. Now they're grouped up as 4. Maybe they want to look for something.
So Spellbinder completed on the Vladimir. He definitely wants to get some stacks on it.
Yeah.
But the Yasuo, he wants Infinity Edge, like now.
I think they might want to wait a little bit on that. Ooh, Flo.
But he doesn't have. He bought QSS, so he doesn't have his Infinity Edge at this time. You would really want it now. It gives him that 100% crit. Gives him so much in this next fight. He will probably have to fight without it. The Kaisa backs for Executioners has a stopwatch on top of it. So this is going to be a way to avoid being a target for the Mordekaiser, because you have to basically put everything into this. I actually think if you have spare gold, you buy an elixir. Like, you gotta win this fight if you're Pepperdine, and that'll win you the game. If you're San Francisco, I'd say buy an elixir for this fight to get you that temporary boost in stats.
So straight trying to stat check your opponents, make sure that you do get this objective here. we'll see if either team decides to go for it. Seems like they're just dancing around the objective right now, but Peperdine are able to wrestle some of the vision control away for themselves. San Francisco, they just walk right back in, though. It's just a give and take. No one's committed to starting, but finally San Francisco going.
Scott's on top side. Here comes the TP, so they are able to get the TP out for USF.
Pushed away.
Watch Vladimir's flank. Watch his flank.
Vladimir's got to look for something here. He actually gets on onto Windchill, but Scott's there as well. They stop the drag, and here we go. The initiation coming in from San Francisco. Kaga can't quite get in there, and the Ornn ultimate comes to answer right back. Peperdine just going nuts in this team fight. Flo doing what he can, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Spear Tracks also going to have to get away from this one. Flashes away, might actually take the fight over there, but the time being bought by Flo just gets a kill. The jungler's down. Can they take the dragon? Spirit Tracks in a 1v1 now against a tank, but with Windchill's damage, Windchill goes in.
The hero!
Down.
The hero!
Get the hero! Get the dragon! He does! Maybe he gets Santomasi as well, but it's not to be with Conqueror stacked up with those crits. It's going to be the fight won by Peperdine.
And that's literally because it's an ocean rift. He gets to hide right there in almost plain sight. He is literally breathing on the Yasuo's neck, just waiting with bated breath for that dragon to get low. He just pops up. He even misses the smite on it. He still gets it.
And that was a fight that was won by Peperdine, but a situation that was won by San Francisco because their only objective here is keep Dragon out of their hands. And initially, it is looking so good for Peperdine. You catch out the Vladimir. He can go ahead and find things, and you have so much time that Windchill even has time to go collect some fruit. Able to grab that one up, but then this dive right here by Diamond when Scott immediately turns back gives away the dragon. Miro able to slip on out afterwards. Actually, just like they see him going towards this bush. They should know that he's at least on this side of the map, but if you're going to continue taking dragon while this many members are running away, there's a huge problem with shot. Some call went horribly wrong, and that cost Pepperdine their 4th dragon of the game.
Wow. That's actually ridiculous. They get Baron, though, on the side of Pepperdine.
Yeah. I guess that's okay.
They get that in the meantime. I mean,
it's good consolation.
You really want that soul. Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at that a little closer, and I actually think that Mahiro, after he went in on the initial play and ultied, I think he stopwatched way too early because he's not doing damage during that time, and you want to stopwatch after you bait some people to target you, and it made him untargetable, and Kaga tried to E to him and then get in and then W off him. So he R'd, wanted to E to somebody who was now untargetable, and then he was like, well, I guess I flashed, right? And that was the whole thing, is he wanted to use him as something to deliver him to further, and he made himself untargetable.
He wanted the J4 springboard, because if he uses that to get the first E off, he's probably, if not in range, really darn close to range to lock down Windchill, die with K-Pulsar, and you just can completely sweep that fight, but it was just those little things not quite come together. Or at least if you don't get the Kaisa, you stop the Ornn from getting the second shot off with the ultimate. And that, once again, could be the difference maker in some of these fights.
A lot of little decisions that went the way of Pepperdine in that fight. Spirit Tracks did get a beautiful feather recall, though. I want to highlight that. Locked down 3 members with that. Was at least able to take down 1 for the trouble. But you got to say Pepperdine looking great here with this Baron push. They break that outer mid turret.
And it's got Molten Edge for Santomasi. Upgraded, ready to go. So this gold advantage is even larger than it looks because your boy Orange is going to print gold.
And already that gold advantage looking strong on the bottom side in particular. You highlighted this earlier, Return, but I want to go back to that point of the bot laners for each team. Windchill, the unspoken carry here for Pepperdine. Definitely being talked about now. 7-1 and 2 on the Kaisa. 3 items completed. It's got the stopwatch, got the executioners, bringing so much value.
Oh, the invisible W.
Beautiful. and yeah, it's been a lot of flashy plays from Spirit Track, but this is the mark of a really good ADC. They can do their best work while still being really low profile. It's about choosing the right times to go in during fights. It's about knowing exactly where you should and shouldn't be. And also the fact that Pepperdine have just spent so many resources on this map towards that bottom side. It's how they play. Windchill and Dragon are completely unlocked at this point in time. And if Pepperdine wins this game, it is most likely going to be off of a great team fight, especially from Windchill.
And Windchill poised to do so. got the Stinger as well. So going for that more AP Kaisa build, realizing that there's already a lot of AD damage on the team. So Zyrene, happy you mentioned that earlier, and also that Windchill noticed that in the damage profile. So it makes it slightly harder for San Francisco to itemize against that. But San Francisco, no slouches in the damage department either. They still have this Vladimir. They still have this champion that can scale up and do insane things if you find the right team fight, the right opportunity to go in. So I'm never going to count San Francisco's composition out at only a 4K gold deficit, but things are definitely looking good for Pepperdine. Oh, they might look for a play right here on the mid lane, trying to get on the Spirit Track. But
I think they're just trying to blow the ultimate.
Yeah, that's quite the fish.
That's aggressive. I mean, the idea is there. If you blow the ultimate from Spirit Track, all of a sudden this fight becomes way easier because Vi just gets to press off.
Whoa.
Oh, but Blow is on an enemy ward, has to pop the ultimate onto Windchill, gets the stopwatch out. Can he actually get anything more for this? The answer is no. Ultimate's done. The rest of the team says, where are you going, buddy?
But can Miro pull a magic trick out of his hat once again? That is going to be the only thing that saves us.
And for my next trick, I will do my previous trick.
But again,
I don't think so. I think the Dragon's going over as it just did to Pepperdine, but they at least get that mid turret as a consolation prize. So finding something elsewhere on the map always helps, but that's that soul. That's that final Drake here for Pepperdine. They are poised to run away with this game.
Well, final elemental Drake. Elder Dragon. I think Elder Dragon's really the big win condition that Pepperdine's got to be playing for here. Because those initial engages where you have Yasuo plus the Vi onto a backline target, that goes from chunking an enemy to killing an enemy. And it just makes those fights so much simpler to play through.
Yeah, very much so agree with that. But it's also a way that San Francisco can get back into the game is if they're able to steal, win a fight, or secure it for themselves.
Team fight seems to be how this game will play out. Neither team has been interested in playing the side lane, going crazy for it. The closest we've seen to that was Flow in that 1v1 on the bottom side. But ever since then, grouping up has been the name of the game. And I'm curious when this Vladimir is going to hit that third item, and also what that third item is going to be. Looking at the build right now, I can't quite tell. What do you think that's going to be? The cooldown, the blasting wand, what's that going to build into for Vladimir here? I feel like it's obvious. I'm just not realizing it. Oh, there we go. The Void Step.
Yeah, there we go.
So he didn't. He
has
baited
the
me
codex
with
for
the
CDR.
codex. Yeah.
I was like, I think you're right. I don't think there is a single item that builds into.
I was really confused for a
but
second.
multiple items.
You typically buy CDR as your main. It's like Nasus builds where you want CDR early, so your first back is like Fiendish Codex and a Kindle Gem.
But we're seeing here the Baron being started up. It's bursting down quickly.
It's a steal or nothing.
Yeah, Mahiro might just go.
Gotta go now.
Oh, can't quite land it. The smite doesn't come through for Diamond Crevasse, but it's picked up and secured regardless. They even get a kill. Pepperdine 5v4. What do they do with this?
They try taking an inhibitor, especially if they can grab one in the mid lane. Just something that buys you extra pressure around neutral objectives. That being said, they're going to go for the split push currently, and that means that there's going to be time for Miro to come back up. The one thing you cannot do is what San Francisco did the last few games, and that is overdive under these inhibitor towers, because there's still so much left to fight for. Even one member down for Pepperdine could really compromise their ability to get anything off this Baron.
Especially with ults available. You have to be careful even walking that far forward. They're trying to lock down Leona. Dragon King is able to just walk out, throws up that W, and is just fine right now. So they defend this inhibitor turret for now, but they lose the tier 2 turret on the top side. This Yasuo, up until then, was unanswered, but K-Pulse is able to finally push him back here.
And Windchill is just a monster once again. 8-1-3. He has the Zhonya's Hourglass upgraded. He's got a lot of AP in this build, and so his W is going to hit like a truck, and it's going to apply 3 stacks of his passive. You see right here, hits the Xayah, does, I would say, about 40% of her HP.
That's exactly the target you want to hit, too.
So yeah, all he has to do is just keep throwing out those Ws. Has some CDR now with the Zhonyas, and if he gets jumped on, he can pop the Zhonyas himself. So it's just a siege pattern, and remember, they also have the Ocean Drake, or the Ocean Soul. So they're in a spot where they'll get full health, and the other team won't. The other team won't regen that much at all.
San Francisco, it's do or die. They lost that middle inhibitor. Do they want to go for a fight right now? seems like members of Peperdine are actually split up. They still have 2 on the top side, everyone else around, but this Orin is just so tanky. You can buy so much time for the rest of the team to join in. So, yeah, San Francisco, you got some poke here. Oh, flashes forward. Kaga looking for the engage. Can they actually turn it? The Orin ultimate not actually going to connect. Kaga jumps into the back line. The Xayah is shredding, but not as much as Windshield. Windshield's still alive, still pretty much untouched in this fight, and this Kaisa is insane. The Xayah goes down. That's got to be game. It's just Flo left up and alive, but Windshield's going to see to that. A triple kill comes through for the Kaisa. That's the ace for Peperdine, and they're going to take first game in the final match against San Francisco. San Francisco put up a fight, but it was not meant to be as the Nexus turrets fall. The Nexus will follow, and Peperdine go up 1-0 in the series.
And Mahiro, in his interview, he said he doesn't think anybody's hard. He might have to think again after that one because Pepperdine, they look like they came to play.
And that was not exactly how I expected it to be. I thought we would come in and leave game 1 thinking or knowing definitively who the better jungler was. I think Mahiro had a couple sloppy plays, but at the end of the day, it just felt like the team of Pepperdine just played better together. It wasn't necessarily one player from the get-go that was the reason that they were winning, or at least not from my perspective. It felt like it was them coming together and playing as a unit.
Yeah, and I think a really big thing about this game was the draft strategy. It was interesting because I feel like San Francisco put themselves in a bit of a hole because Mahiro is obviously the person that they want to have on a good champion. The J4, I don't think is a good champion for him in particular because I feel like the playmaking, yes, it's there, but the carry potential, very, very, very low. Especially if you're going to go tank. I feel like if you lock in something like the Lee Sin that gets banned later, if you lock it in earlier for yourself, then you're going to set yourself up for panicking the other team. And I think that that's what he wants to do is get one of those champions, get his hands at least on one of those champions of the Elise or even the Lee Sin that he had previously.
Well, we'll see if San Francisco is able to shore up some of those weaknesses. But before we break down more of the game, let's actually send it over to Returned, who has deeper insight into how Pepperdine was able to take that win.
Thank you, guys. So one thing I really want to start to touch on, especially as we get into this series, you might have heard it a lot on the desk, but it is neutral objective pressure. We are in the new League of Legends. We are in the season of the Dragon. So one of the biggest things any CLO team needs to do is understand how to play around these neutral objectives. And before we get into this one, you can go ahead and just see the setup we have available on the map. We have double TP up and available, Orin and Vladimir on this top side of the map, and USFCA, or University of San Francisco, is starting to move around this Dragon area, but they aren't quite together. There's so many split up pieces, as you can see right here. We've got Mahiro, we've got Flo on this top side of the map. If you look on the bottom side, you have the incoming flank from the Lovers bottom lane duo. Now, all these things together would be a fantastic way to engage, but it's still this split apart nature that San Francisco really is going to have to combat if they want to come ahead with this win. Because you can see so many ways this fight can play out. If you have a TP from Vladimir, pinch this area with the trio coming in, pinch this area with the Lovers duo, you lock them in to this giant kill zone that you can collapse and take a dragon. But that TP never comes to fruition. That pinch doesn't come around, and you can watch how this fight plays out right here. So you can see it's initial, a bit of movement from the top side, and immediately Pep realizes this, and they go instantly onto the one man on the enemy team with the smite, Miro. And then it's just an absolute routing as Orin has come to save the day. Some great cutting back from Spirit and company, but this is where things start to turn the other way. They grab a kill, but then they are caught with probably one of the greatest sins of any League of Legends player, overconfidence, as they end up coming back in onto the play eventually, and then go down as we can play the fight out continuously as well. Yep, they come back around. There's not really any reason to look this way. Flo is coming into a 4v3. And still, without Vladimir even TPing into this play, once again, you have a TP ward right here, just turn around almost instantaneously. San Francisco is a really good team. Do not get me wrong with this. But what they need to do is they need to be clear in their communication, because when they're working for one objective, one goal, and one play, they look fantastic and unstoppable. But like this, they leave so much room available, and Pep is a team that is going to punish you each and every time. And that's something that's got to go ahead and change and adapt going to game 2. Back to you guys on the desk.
Mahiro, the shot caller of the team, potentially, I don't know if some of those issues were him not knowing exactly what to call or the team not following up right away, but I'm happy that Return highlighted that point in particular because it felt like an opportunity for San Francisco to actually capitalize on something. weren't able to pull it off at the end of the day. So Pepperdine looking like a dominant team. They didn't lose a game in their semifinals. They went 2-0. They're up 1-0 against San Francisco. And I feel like they might have convinced me already. I mean, we haven't seen the draft for game number 2, so it's not time for predictions, but just, a vibe check here real quick. I feel like Pepperdine by far favorited to win this finals.
Yeah, it's incredibly interesting. Like, the more I think about it, the more I think like the draft really matters, and the strategy caught San Francisco off guard. I think it was a very clever one. I think that if they aren't able to change that, and I'm glad we predict after picks advance, because
it helps. It helps for sure.
I was even saying, like, I like the composition better for the side of Pepperdine, but I thought that San Francisco had it. Apparently very wrong on that, but I think that if they are able to change, San Francisco still has a chance. But Pepperdine, like you said, they're looking very convincing.
All right, we'll see if Pepperdine can continue the momentum going forward and make this a quick 2-0 finals, or if San Francisco has anything left to take back here, making us go to a game 3. We're going to send it over to a short break while we get ready for game 2. You're not going to want to miss it.